Welcome to Leadership from the Inside Out. If there's one thing about prison that, well, it kind of runs deep, it's what I'm going to call the absence of excellence. I mean, the guys are just literally existing in many cases. There's a general sense of apathy. The guards are just as anxious to go home every day as the inmates are to go home in general. And quite frankly, it's good enough. It just tends to be the attitude. In fact, I can't think of very many references at all where I could say, yeah, that was done with a spirit of excellence. In fact, I can think of many, many more examples when excellence was not just ignored, but actually discouraged. I think of a situation where we were doing something really, really neat. Had the opportunity to run a Relay for Life, part of the American Cancer Society fundraiser benefit on the prison yard. We made little carnival games, and the inmates had the opportunity to purchase game tickets, and all for the benefit of the American Cancer Society. It's a great thing. Well, one of the games we realized we had created a sign that did not actually reflect the correct ticket count. It was kind of a bocce ball kind of idea, and we were supposed to, I think you had like one throw for one ticket, or 3 throws for 2 tickets, or 7 throws for 3, something like that. Bottom line is, we'd switched it. We'd said 7 tickets for 1 throw instead of 1 ticket for 7 throws. And I said, hey, I'm going to go grab a new poster. I'm going to make a new sign up. So no, it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. Just cross out the 1, put a 7, cross out the 7, put a 1. Let's call it a day. I remember being very discouraged in that moment, thinking about how poor that would look, how confusing that would be, and how, in my opinion, that lack of excellence was actually going to impact the overall experience that those who participated would have. And that is just one moment where in prison I learned the value of excellence. See, it's easy to live a life of excellence when others are encouraging you to. I think of parents maybe who just demand higher grades or more activities. I think of supervisors and bosses that are quick to call out a misspelling or something like that. And so in those cases, it's easy to rise up, and that's why it's so important that we surround ourselves with good people. But when I was in prison, I learned that there's a value of intrinsic excellence. That it didn't matter what anybody said, it didn't matter if anybody even agreed. Excellence is something that leaders just possess. I did what I was told. I crossed out the number, I wrote the other number. And thankfully, within moments, I was able to get over to the poster board and create a new sign without disrupting the other flow of setup. That sign was replaced without the individual ever realizing it was, probably because I don't think that they were paying attention. There's a lot that I could go into on this idea of excellence. Something that was constantly a part of my prison experience, where excellence was actively discouraged. And yet I think that helped me, as a leader, become more excellent. Put me in a position where I had to make a daily choice. Was I going to live with excellence, or was I going to succumb to mediocrity? I'm sure I still struggle with that, but our lesson today, in Lessons from the Inside, is the value of excellence.